Shalom, Yasharala. Once again, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying, and I will entitle this "Sleeping on the Job is Unprofessional." Get rid of the leaven, or something down the lines of that title. So this comes from a testimony of mine, in which I work as a security guard. I work as a security guard, and I've been to a couple different sites, a couple different locations doing under this one company. And the latest site where I've been settled at, when I first got there, before I got there, I was accustomed, I was used to doing my shift alone, by myself, doing the graveyard overnight shift. Most of the sites where I've been working at, I've been working by myself, and so I got used to that. And you know, one of the perks of being by myself doing the overnight shift is that, you know, it's not a lot of traffic. I don't really have too much to do, and I would be able to study. And get some videos in, right? Do things of the flesh. Get things done in the spirit. Do some works in the spirit, while, you know, killing two birds with one stone. And but this new place, well, I've been there for a couple months now. Salakia, driving. I'm forced to work with someone else. It's me and another person all the time, and we in a booth together. So prior to this new situation, which is my testimony is based upon, I would be able to sleep. I would be able to study. I would be able to be on my phone. I could do a video, but it's more difficult. You know, without making this long, right? It's more difficult. I will have to like leave out of the booth, and you know, I don't like feeling like I'm forcing the spirit or rushing through a lesson. So it would have to be a real quick, brief lesson, which I have, but for the most part I don't. So now, before coming to the site, I was conditioned to, even though I would be able to sleep at other sites, and I would try my best not to, and try to be productive and do things of the spirit while, you know, things is slow. So when I came to this new site, you know, I was already in the mentality of, you know, not sleeping. But the guards that I would work overnight with, they basically let it be known, that, it's acceptable. The company that we work, the site that we work for, they don't, that's the part of the reason why they have 2 guards, because there was an incident where when they did have 1 guard, they had to fire a guard because he got caught sleeping. So they changed things, and now it's 2 guards, so that if one is asleep, the other one, is on point. So before I got there, they were, the guards was used to sleeping, and I was trying not to get in the habit of sleeping, but one way or another, I wound up giving in due to the difficulty of studying, right? Because we would have to be in a booth together, and I could listen to videos, but I would have to have the headphones on, and then the headphones, I don't really like having them in my ears, radiation and just irritating, like kind of like irritating. And I would be able to read. I would get some reading in, but I would get distracted because the other guard would either be on the phone, or they would be talking to me. So I'm not much of a people's person. With people outside of the truth. I could hold the conversation, keep it brief, but the only 2, it's either 3 days out of the 5 days that I work, it's a nigga woman that I gotta work with, and it's this Israelite male. And I could tolerate both of them. I'd rather work with the male because the male more he more so quiet, he sleep. But I only work with him 2 days out of the 5. The other days, it's this fucking nigga woman, and she is aggravating as hell. She aggravating as hell, and I rather, so that she won't talk to me, so that I won't get irritated with hearing her conversation. I'd rather go to sleep. And so she had a lot to do with, basically me getting in the habit of going to sleep. So I'm looking at it like, all right, if I could get 3 to 4 hours of sleep while I'm at the job, then I don't have to get, I don't have to get that much sleep when I'm at home. Probably just like a 2 to 4 hours before I go to work. So at one point I was doing all right, which this is one of the things that I have to battle, in my walk. This what they call depression, which is nothing but demons, a plague of demons, messing with your mind, trying to get you to get comfortable, be in the flesh, cause disorder, and basically a lack of structure. So my sleep would be broken up, and I was managing, I was doing all right, but lately I've been I've been battling this sleep demon, and getting to the point, right, of the testimony. I've been putting up prayers. Asking the Lord to, help me with this, problem. So, the Lord answered my prayer, right? Through through my job. So that's the point of this lesson, right? So Salaki, I'm driving, so I'm trying to focus. So I found myself sleeping too much, right? From my sleep being broken up, and not having a set, not being able to manage my routine properly, right? Because I really despise sleeping, for the sake of the spirit, for the sake of the truth. The times is being sped up. The Lord shortened the time for the elect's sake, and you can feel every bit of the days being shorter. And when it comes to doing the works, when it comes to things that pertain to the truth of the Holy Spirit, is you barely got time for anything else, because this truth is so time consuming. Studying, meditating on videos, praying, and so making no excuses. You have to manage your time wisely. And so I found myself losing my footing as far as managing my time wisely, and I start oversleeping. I start sleeping too much. I would sleep at the job, and I would sleep at the job, and I would sleep while I'm at home. But they say the most successful people, they call them the 1%ers in life. They survive off of anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours of sleep, and like power naps basically. And so I try to remember that. I try to keep my hours of sleep down from 4 to 6 hours, and definitely try not to sleep more than 8 hours. So I've been battling a sleep demon. I put the prayers up, and the Lord answered my prayer through my job coming down, right? And we were the nigga woman, she called out. She called out the other day, like 2 days ago, and I had to work with my supervisor overnight. And so he had me sign 3 contracts, right? And that's how we know that we're still in slavery. We're still slaves, man, because signing of contracts, the word contract means basically to make smaller, or it's like the word constrict and contract, like a woman in labor, she has contractions in which her womb tightens up, her muscles tighten up, trying to help her to push her baby out in time of delivery. And that's what a contract does, right? And constrict, right? Like a boa constrictor, or snakes that are constrictors, right? They grab their prey, they squeeze them, right? They squeeze the life out of them, and then they swallow them whole, right? And so that's what contracts do. They put the squeeze on you. They make your comfortability. They bring you out of your comfort zone, You know, if you know these celebrities, these entertainers, these athletes, they sign contracts, and if they don't, you know, like if you sign a rap contract and you, right, just hypothetically speaking, you sign a rap contract for a year, and you know, to do 3 albums, you know, you could be sued, basically, you know, for not holding up. It's gonna be some type of consequences for breaking the contract. Salaki. The ghetto, right? It's always fucking sirens. But anyways, contracts, right? So that's what my supervisor did, right? He had not just me, all the employees sign contracts. You know, basically we can't be on cell phones. We got to do these perimeter tours, walking around the building, which overnight we could just do it virtually on the cameras or whatever. And it was something else. What was the other one for? Basically, you know, freeing up the supervisor from a duty that he's supposed to do, which is if someone calls out, now it's protocol that if you call out, you got to call the supervisor, you got to call the site, and who's ever on duty, they have to basically call around and get coverage for whoever it is that's calling out. So those are 3 contracts. But when he also mentioned how because I wouldn't just sleep. You know, everybody else, they sleep on the camera because this camera's watching the booth. I wouldn't just sleep on the camera. I would put a chair in front of me. I would put a chair in front of me, and you know, it's one of those chairs, like desk chairs that you could raise up and lower down. I will put a chair in front of me, lift it up, put my coat over the head of the chair, and I will you know, appear to be on my phone, you know, because we was allowed to be on our phones, you know, because overnight it's not really nothing going on. You know, it's not a laborsome job at all. And I could admit, you know, I was too comfortable. It's too comfortable, and I would even, you know, they say you talk loud, the devil listen. And so I would, you know, often tell people like, yeah, this is one of the best jobs I've ever had. I could sleep while I'm at work. You know, like, I'll be a fool to not catch up on my sleep while I'm at work. Everybody else do it. All this, right? So I find myself getting too comfortable, and I would sit in the corner. A distance from the monitors, from the camera view, and my supervisor said that I can't do that no more. I gotta be up on the desk, you know, basically showing that I'm being attentive, right? While on duty, which makes sense, you know. Getting to the point of this lesson, it's lucky I was driving, so now I'm parking and I can focus a little bit more. So the Lord answered my prayers, because now I'm forced to be out of my comfort zone, right? I'm forced to be more organized and prioritize, organized when it comes to the things that I have to take care of, right? And so now, right, when I'm at work, no sleeping, I can't be on the phone. I gotta be professional, right? Which I commend, and I commend professionalism. I admire professionalism, right? And the thing about professionalism is that, just another real quick testimony. I allowed my Eve to put a vehicle in my name. She was making payments on it. She fell behind on making payments. They repoed the vehicle, and I had to go recover her belongings. And I was aggravated. I was agitated, right? With her being irresponsible. And when I went to go pick up her belongings, the woman at the facility was so professional that, and another reason why I was aggravated is because this bitch so fucking unorganized that it was embarrassing picking up the fucking belongings. It's just a bunch of mail and papers, unorganized all over the place, and I just, right, and it was just embarrassing, and I was aggravated. But the woman, the clerk at the place, I had to turn in the key and get the belongings. She was so professional that I couldn't, she helped ease my aggravation. And so I commend, and I respect, and forget the other word that I just used. I respect professionalism, and the more professional a person is, you go to a restaurant, the more professional a person is, right? You might have a waiter. The more they make you feel good about spending your money, right? Your food might be expensive, right? But as long as the food was decent, and the food could well, it's gotta at least be decent for me. As long as the food decent and my waiter is professional, I might not want a tip, right? But professionalism kind of forces, it plays on your emotions to give a tip if you wasn't planning on giving a tip, or give a better tip, right? It makes you feel good about spending your money at a place. It makes you feel good about investing. So anyways, I understand. I want to be professional, right? Especially at a job where it's not laborsome. It's easy, even with them coming down and putting a squeeze on us, and taking away our level of comfortability. It's still an easy ass job. All we got to do is walk around, alternate every other hour, and walk around the building, and there's nothing going on. There's nothing really going on there, and I would be a fool to fuck it up. So right, so at first, right, I'm like, that nigga, the nigga part of me, or the old man rather, at first, like, oh brother, they we gotta do this, we can't be on our phones, like, oh brother. But instantly the spirit kicked in, and like, yo, that's the Lord, that's the Lord answering your prayers, right? Through chastisement, right? And I instantly became grateful and gave all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Shah. So that's the point of this lesson. Lord willing, to be edifying, Salakia, if that dragged out. So, right, I'm going to start here. Because what? A carnal job is a reflection of, or carnal business is a reflection of this truth, right? We have a job to do, and us as prophets, the hopeful elect, right? We are to be we are supposed to be professionals at what it is that we do. We're supposed to carry out professionalism when conducting the business of Yahweh Shema Shah. So this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse Hebrews 10 and 22. Let us draw near with a true heart, which is your mind, right? In full assurance of faith, right? So we're supposed to grow in this truth and faith, believing in Yahweh Shema Shai and everything that comes with the 100% truth, the 100% pure doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shai. We're supposed to through prayer and fasting, rehearsing the righteous acts, we're supposed to grow closer. Our relationship is supposed to become better with Yahweh Shema Shah. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, right? So we're supposed to 100%, or as close to 100%, believe that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to keep their promises. Yahweh Shah will return soon to establish the kingdom of heaven, and our enemies will be destroyed and brought out of power. We will be saved from the hands of our enemies, right? Having our hearts sprinkled, meaning cleansed from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water, right? Our spiritually, right? The water representing this truth. We're supposed to be clean from our old thoughts, from the old man, the person that we used to be, in this truth. Verse 23, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. All right. So that's the point. We're supposed to be professionals, you know, to be an Israelite, to be a prophet, right? Hopeful elect. We're supposed to grow to become better and better to the point of carrying out and conducting ourselves in professionalism, right? Which there's certain protocols that comes with this truth, right? Policies, right? There's a certain doctrine. We're supposed to teach certain things and not teach certain things, right? Those, you know, we're supposed to teach that salvation is only for the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel may look like other nations. It's all about the spirit. Try the spirit by the spirit. You know, it's all about the elect. 2/3 of our people are not going to be saved. It's not about all nations or all Israelites coming together, all camps coming together, right? We're supposed to teach that America will soon be destroyed by nuclear fire, right? We're not supposed to teach that hell is a place where you burn forever after you die. We're supposed to teach the importance of the names of the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, and how the names are not God, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus Christ, Yahshua, Yahweh, right? Just some examples. When we're not teaching correctly, when we're going off on a doctrine, we're being unprofessional. Really, you're not. That's signs of you being a false prophet and not a true man of the Lord, not a part of the elect. So we're supposed to hold ourselves up to the standard in which Yahushua is the perfect example, the head of this business, right? I like to think of, one of the ways that I like to think of this truth is as a dry cleaning business, right? And Yahweh is the owner, and Yahushua is at the head of the dry cleaning business, so to speak. When you walk in the dry cleaning business, right? Yahushua is the one taking the orders, right? And no matter how filthy the garments may have been of the elect when they come to this truth, how about this dry cleaning business will result in our garments of the elect, the garments of the hopeful elect, being made pure white, perfectly clean. Salakia. This is Hebrews chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "Wherefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Hamashiach Yahushai." All right, so like I just edifying the point that I just said, right? When we're upholding this business, when we're on a job carrying out the works, we're supposed to remember Yahushai, all right, as the perfect example. "Wherefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle." Oh, I read that already. So profession, right? Let me see. I don't want to.
Strong's G 3671. Hamalagia.
Right? Hamalagia. Profession, subjectively, whom we profess to be ours. Objectively, profession, confession, what one professes, right? So we confess that we are the Israelites. We confess that we are the hopeful elect. We confess that we are the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and so we're supposed to be as professional as we possibly can, following the perfect example of Yahushai, all right, through the Holy Spirit. Getting to the root word, it says to say the same thing as another, right? So we're supposed to speak the same thing as that Yahushua spoke, right? The kingdom of heaven is at hand, right? So forth and so on. To agree with, assent, not to refuse, to promise, right? Promise the kingdom of heaven, not to refuse the kingdom of heaven being established and the elect being delivered and saved, not to deny, right? So we are to carry ourselves and in a certain light, and when we're not holding ourselves up to the certain standard, we're being unprofessional, and ultimately, right, not managing your time properly, spending more time sleeping than doing the works, right, is unprofessional. And when you're unprofessional, you're subjected to being fired, to not being paid, right? Like Apostle Tahar often mentions. To confess, declare, to confess, to admit or declare one's self guilty of what one is accused of, right? So the mentality of a nigga is to try to cut corners, to try to make their job as comfortable as possible. And when the hammer is coming down, when disciplinary actions is coming down, they complain, they might quit, right? They get mad, they get in their emotions. But the man of the Lord, right, would appreciate, that fire being produced, under your ass to force you to tighten up, right? It says to profess, to declare openly, speak out freely, to profess one's self worshiper of one, to praise, celebrate. So when we're spending more time doing other things than doing the works, we're being unprofessional. So sleeping on a job is very unprofessional, and it's a blessing of the Lord for chastisement. Matter of fact, Salaki. Hold on. Despise not the chastening. Salaki. This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11. It says, "My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction." Right. So, this is the spirit of the elect, right? They're going to remember this. They're going to follow this commandment. They're going to be, they're going to be appreciative for the chastening and correction and guidance of the Heavenly Father. Verse 12, "For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father, the son in who he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding." Right? So this is wisdom and understanding, right? To knowing that it's good for the Lord to bring the hammer down and to correct you, right? Because it makes you better, right? And as long as you in that spirit and not in that rebellious spirit, then that signs of being a hopeful elect. That separates you from the mentality of 2/3 of our people. And as long as I accept correction while from the job, then I shouldn't have to worry about being unemployed. And I can possibly get a raise, I can possibly get promoted, right? For showing professionalism. 1 Timothy 6:12, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art called, and has professed a good profession before many witnesses. Right? So when we go out, we're supposed to be professional prophets, right? Confessing things of the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And in hopes of being employed to the point of being promoted to being saved and delivered into the kingdom of heaven, and receiving new bodies and inheriting eternal and everlasting life. So that's it on that. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse I'll jump to the point. It says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light, which represents the truth. Darkness represents confusion and lies. The ways of this world is darkness. We came out of darkness when we woke up to this truth. All right, this truth, Yahweh Shah being an embodiment of the truth of the scriptures, is us being in the light. Ye are of the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Right? We see what's going on in the world. We know exactly where we belong. We know exactly what time it is, how close we are to the end, and how close we are to Yahweh Shah making his second return, establishing the kingdom of heaven. Verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Right? 2/3 of our people are going to die because they are spiritually asleep. They don't understand what's going on. They don't believe in the prophecies. They don't believe in the kingdom of heaven being established. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and so the end shall come as a thief in the night to them. Right? It says, for they that sleep in the night in confusion and lies. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Right? Being drunk is to be confused based upon laws and false doctrines that are taught, worshiping of these false gods which don't exist, and ultimately is going to lead them to accepting and receiving that micro hip, which is the prophecy, the fulfillment of the prophecy of the MOTB pursuant to Revelation 13:16. Right, so this is Sirach chapter 5. And 5, it says, concerning propitiation, winning the Lord over, drawing closer to the Lord, right? Building upon your relationship with Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Be not without fear to add sin unto sin, right? We are to rehearse the righteous acts, keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, and be in fear, great fear of what can the Lord will allow to happen to us from us willfully breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. Verse 6, and say not his mercy is great, and he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. All right, so that's like your boss, right? You know, your boss may be lenient, right? He may have caught you sleeping a couple times, and instead of firing you, he gave you a pass. He gave you a warning, let you know, like, look, let you know, like, look, I ain't gonna fire you, I ain't gonna write you up this time, but you need to tighten up, and you take advantage of that. And little do you know, part of the reason why he's so lenient and likes to give chances is because, so that he can have a clear conscience, so that he don't have to feel bad at all. When he does fire your ass, when he does write your ass up, you won't be able to complain about how he didn't give you opportunities to improve. It says, make no tarrying, right? Don't be bullshitting. Don't drag your feet. Don't be a nigga. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly, that's the point. For suddenly, right? Because what? The reason why you put things off, or you bullshit, or you take advantage, you take your boss's kindness for weakness, right? It's because you want to remain in that comfort zone, right? But it says, for suddenly, in your comfortability, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, right? So you don't want to be comfortable. Being comfortable or sleeping on a job will get you destroyed, right? And so now we're entering into the time of the Passover, in which the feast of unleavened bread, and which Yahushua is said, take, eat, this is my flesh, right? The unleavened bread representing Yahushua, representing this truth, representing us as new creatures in Yahushua, putting off the old man. All right. This time around, this holy day, right? This high holy day is supposed to put us in the remembrance of the mentality that we're supposed to be in, waiting for the kingdom of heaven to be established, waiting for Yahushua to be, waiting for the kingdom of heaven to be established, waiting for the second coming of Yahushua, waiting to be delivered and saved from the hands of our enemies. All right. Being ready to mentally and spiritually separating ourselves from the ways of this world, and ready to be separated physically and delivered from the hands of our enemies. This is Galatians chapter 5 verse 9, right? Matter of fact, Galatians chapter 5 verse 7. It says, ye did run well. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth? Right? So this truth is likened to a race, a marathon, right? And you're not supposed to stop, right? Even if you stumble, you get back up, you shake yourself from the dust, and you keep moving, right? The objective is not to cross the finish line first, but to cross the finish line, period, right? To finish the race. Ye did run well, right? So you start off running. It says, who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth? Why you stop running? If you stumble, right, why didn't you get back up? Right? It says, this persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you, right? Ultimately, it's of Satan, it's of the world, right? If you stop, if you give up, if you give this truth up, if you lose patience, right? If you say things, you're not an Israelite no more, you go back to Christianity, you go back to gangbanging, you go back to Islam, you go back to being a regular so-called law-abiding citizen, right? Ultimately, if you're sifted out, which this is a heavy time of sifting, right? Then it is of the spirit of Satan. It is of the influence of this world. It is of comfortability, right? Which is not of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 9, the point. A little leaven the whole lump. All right, so leaven represent, like, and it's the spirit, because there's a parasitic infection called Candida, which America does not diagnose you. One of the only countries that doesn't diagnose you for parasitic infections. And the thing about those parasites is they thrive, they survive and live off of yeast, right? Which you need yeast in order to make dough, ras, in order to make bread, ras, which requires more time. And that's why we had to because we were in a rush. We were commanded to bake our bread without leaven, without yeast, because we didn't have time to wait for the bread to cook that long. So we were commanded to bake our bread without the leaven, without the yeast, right? And so yeast, right, not only does it make you comfortable, right, it makes you, it fills you up more, right? It fills you up more. You need less of it to satisfy you, right? But it's not good for you, rather than unleavened bread, right? But the unleavened bread being Yahushua, that's all we need, through the spirit, right? Yahushua is all we need through the spirit. The scriptures say, man shall not live off bread alone, right? And Yahushua is the only spirit, is the only bread that we really need, right? And that's what fasting is about, to afflict our bodies, to reject the cravings of food ruling over our bodies, right? Because we are spirits, and we're supposed to rule ourselves through spirit before allowing ourselves to be controlled by our bodies, right? We're not living right if we're only living our, they say we're supposed to eat to live, right? Not live to eat. All right. So in our reality, we're supposed to have an understanding that we don't need food to actually live, right? Those new bodies that we're gonna have, part of what's gonna make those great is that we are not going to have to eat, meaning our bodies are not gonna, because if we don't eat, then we're with these bodies, we're liable to die of starvation. But that's not how life is supposed to be. We're not supposed to have to worry about death. We're not supposed to have the threat of death from not eating, because we're spiritual beings first. And so eating is supposed to be an option. We're supposed to enjoy it. We're not supposed to be slaves to eating. And this world promotes being comfortable, being a slave to the flesh, eating and working and being comfortable, having fun, and all of these things. And that's the reason why majority of the population is overweight, obese. So these are things to remember, right? We're entering the time of the Passover unleavened bread, right? And we're supposed to examine ourselves and trim our lamps, right? Tighten up and improve in where we, improve wherever we can. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. Call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Citations to the hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth in the sincere spirit. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Hashem Rakakwadash. All right. And once again, the title of this lesson is Sleeping on the Job is Unprofessional. Get rid of the leaven. All right. Shalom.